Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Rogue Media. My name is Alex Schlerf, and today we're going to be doing my reaction to the nominations for the 98th Oscars. Announced yesterday on Thursday, released this on Friday. That's why, and I tweeted about this. I haven't really been giving too many reactions on social media because I wanted to hop on here and get my fresh reaction to all the nominations. So I'm just going to go through literally almost everything. Obviously, I'll have less thoughts on like Best Picture or less thoughts on like animated short to compare to like Best Picture, but I'll try to give an in-depth talk about everything and kind of what I think. And it'll be somewhat about my opinion on all these movies, but also just talking about like what were the surprises. What am I happy to see get nominated? Not as much like, oh, this is in Best Picture and I hated this movie. Like, no, I'm not gonna this isn't gonna be my top 10 movies of the year. Like I'm not gonna be doing anything like that. If I do a video, I think the plan is to do a kind of just year. I was going to do a year in review video at the end of the year, but things got a little busy. So I think just before the Oscars, I'll do my predictions for each of the awards because it's still not until like March something. I don't know, maybe like March 20 something. I don't actually know. Wait, maybe it says on this list I have. March 15th. So March 15th is when the Oscars are happening. So I think before that, the Friday before, probably I'll just do a video where I'm talking about my predictions and also my what I would put as like my best picture 10 and like my acting stuff like that. So yeah, just gonna be going to all the nominations and I guess I'll get right into it. So I guess we'll just start. I mean, I have this list here. That's why if you see me looking like down at something, that's what it is. So I have this list of all the nominations and just it's going in order by like the most notable awards, and obviously Best Picture is here. So I'll go through Best Picture first. So the 10 nominees for Best Picture are Begonia, F1, Frankenstein, Hamnet, Marty Supreme, One Battle After Another, The Secret Agent, Sentimental Value, Sinners, and Train Dreams. I believe those are just in alphabetical order. So not too many surprises here. I think the top nine spots were locks. So that's everything except for F1. Obviously, just generally, there were a bit of surprises on here. Like, I don't think anyone thought a couple months ago that Train Dreams would be on this list. I don't think anyone thought that the Secret Agent would be as much of a lock as it is. And the rest of them, I think, Sinners, One Left and Another, Marty Supreme, Hamnet, Frankenstein, Begonia, I guess could be a surprise, but the Academy loves Yorgos. All of those were just pretty much expected and ones that before the year people were predicting would be in the Best Picture race. So really what it was is kind of just a battle for the final spot, which ended up going to F1, which is just crazy to me. I'm one of the people that really liked F1, and I wrote a review for it on the site. So if you haven't seen that, go back and read it. But I just didn't think it'd be a movie that the Academy would go crazy over. And I think what helped is it getting the sound category. We'll get into that obviously, but I think it got best sound and best editing, I think maybe. So I think all of that helped with F1's chances because they did good in the technical categories. And also it was just a hard or it was just not very competitive race for the last spot. The one that I personally actually liked more than F1 was it was just an accident, but I think Neon was just completely booked out because they had both The Secret Agent and Sentimental Value. So I don't know if they wanted to put three international Neon films in the Best Picture race. That's probably what happened, or at least just how the voting shook out. But for me, it was just an accident. I think is just in my top 10 of this year. So that for me is one that I definitely could have seen getting in there and probably would have liked to see get in there even over F1. But I'm not mad at the F1 thing. I see film Twitter is kind of going crazy over it, but I liked F1. I think it's a great movie to see in a theater. It was an amazing movie to see in a theater. I actually moved it up. I watched it in theaters and I gave it a 4 star. And then when I rewatched it, I think it was like a week ago at home, I moved it up to a 4.5 because I really just don't have much problems with it. It is a little long, but it's still, I didn't have a lot of problems. And the moments are just so good. So happy to see F1 get in there. I think it's totally deserved. So it was just an accident, was one that could be considered a snub. This is the first Avatar movie that did not make it in the Best Picture 10, which is frustrating to me because I thought it was as good, if not better than well, definitely not better than Way of Water, but I think it was better than the first Avatar. But it was like on the same level as Way of Water. But so that was frustrating is to not see the Sea Fire and Ash get in there. There were some other ones that kind of just didn't get the momentum they needed in time. No Other Choice was one of those that was obviously that's also another Neon International film, which is crazy how they're just filling out the slots this year. Um, that was one that kind of got a wide release only a few weeks ago. I actually only got to see it a week ago, which is a great movie. But I just don't think it had the momentum, and I think the voters were probably fatigued by, and maybe this is not a good thing. You can think for yourself, but fatigued by all the Neon films in the top 10, probably didn't want to put all of them in there and spread it out a little bit throughout all the studios. So that's what that was. Another one was Testament of Van Lee. This one had like almost no chance to make it by the time the nominations were announced, but it literally just got a wide release this weekend. So that's just like I just think that I'm not involved in the business side of things. I don't really know how it works, but that's ridiculous to me. The fact that it is a Oscars contender and they just blew their chances completely because Searchlight slash Disney barely campaigned it at all. And at the same time, they didn't even give it a wide release until after the nominations were announced. So I just think, and literally the day after, like I just think that's, or the day of, it was on Thursday, I think. So that's just crazy to me. And I think that I haven't seen that movie yet, so I don't know how good it is, but it's gotten great reviews, and Amanda's gotten great rave for her performance. So that's another one. Jay Kelly was one that got a lot of early momentum. It really tested well at film festivals. But I think by the time it came out on Netflix, first off, I think Netflix had their contender in Frankenstein and also K-pop Demon Hunters for different categories. But I think those were their campaigns mostly. I don't think Jay Kelly campaigned a ton. But yeah, I think that one was one that just lost momentum. I don't think the general audience liked it as much. I didn't review it for the site. I gave it a 3.5. Solid movie, not best pressure worthy for me. And I think that's how most fans felt. I think it just lost the momentum by the time it came out. Even with Noah Baumbach being, like an Oscar darling, and same with obviously Sandler and Clooney. But none of them got no awards. What else was there? Surat was another international film that I believe got in the five for international picture. Had a chance. I don't know if that's even had a wide release yet. I haven't had a chance to see it, but that was another one that had a chance. Um, yeah, I think that was for the most part what I'm trying to think of. I don't have a list of like what got signed. Wicked was another one that everyone was almost sure was going to make it for entering this year. Um, just didn't get the best reviews. I liked it, not as much as the first one. I think there's a big gap in between them. But just it didn't get it got the box office, but it didn't make as much as the first one. Didn't get the reviews of the critics. Didn't get the great reviews from the audience, and they completely struck out. Nothing. 10 Oscars at the last one. 10 Oscar nominations at the last one. None here. Not even Ariana. Not Cynthia. No production design, music. Nothing. Didn't get nominated at all. So that is crazy. I don't think I would have put it in, but I think that's just it's a crazy thing. Crazy thing that happened, and I guess we'll talk about that more when we get to the other categories. But yeah, I'm trying to think if there's anything else that was kind of in that contention. I'm gonna actually just pull up my 2025 list just to see if there's anything else that I might have just considered, even if it wasn't for the from the. Yeah, I mean, Weapons was another one that people thought could make a run for the last spot because of Amy Madigan getting the love for Best Supporting Actress. And I think it got a PGA nomination too, but. I don't think Weapons is just not an Oscar film. I think that was one of my favorite films last year, so I would put it in there. But that's just not a film the Academy usually likes. I mean, Sinners has done a good job at breaking that horror film stigma, but I don't think Weapons is a film that just is anything that the Oscars would give a lot of love to. I would venture a guess that it wasn't even close to getting that nomination. Um, what else? I mean, Springsteen didn't have a chance, but was one that had early momentum. Sorry Baby was another one that I would have liked to see get in there. Obviously, Eva Victor with a great, direction, writing, starring, just an incredible feat. And that was one that had a little momentum because of what happened at the Globes with Julia Roberts, and also just generally people were seeing it more as it came on HBO Max. So yeah, I reviewed that one. A lot of these movies, like all these movies I'm saying, almost all of them I reviewed for either on the channel or on the website. So like if you want to read about these movies and what I think about them in more depth, go on the site, go on here. Obviously I'm not gonna have time on here to talk about every single movie, but yeah, just FYI about that. But Sorry Baby would have been cool to see that get in, especially with just the filmmaking and the acting from Eva Victor. But um, I don't it just didn't have enough momentum. It didn't get enough nominations in the build up. What else on here? I guess Wake Up Dead Man. I don't think Knives Out movies ever made the best picture, so I don't think that had a chance. Let's. I mean, all these are getting to a point where I don't think these really ever had a shot. A House of Dynamite was another one that felt like it had a decent chance because it got really good reviews at film festivals, but I think everyone like me hated the ending, so I just don't think it ever got to that point. Smashing Machine was another one. Blue Moon, another one. I just don't think these movies had enough positive reviews to ever get into that 10th spot. Like K-pop Demon Hunters, obviously, I don't think they were ever going to put an animated movie in there. Um, just trying to see if there's anything else. No, these we're getting to like the bare bones of my list now. So yeah, that was Best Picture. I'm pretty satisfied. And just generally, honestly, I have to say, with Oscar nominations, there's typically a lot of snubs or mistake in my eyes, a lot of snubs or mistakes or weird things that they did. And besides from like one or two decisions, I'm pretty happy with everything. Like this 10 of Best Picture would not be my 10, but still everything in there except for uh Train Dreams I was not a huge fan of, but I get why I made it in because people loved it. But that was one where I would definitely not put in there. But besides that, and I'm not mad. Like I don't hate that movie. I think I gave it a 2.5, and I didn't review over the site, but like I gave it a 2.5, and I was frustrated about the way it kind of played out. But that's not one where I'm like mad that it got in. I get it. I know people really like it. So like I'm not really mad about any of this Pep Picture 10. It wouldn't have been my 10, but still, I think it's they did a pretty good job here, and nothing like snuck in that just completely didn't deserve it. So yeah, that's Best Picture, and obviously the favor is one battle after another. Sinners might have a tiny bit of a bigger chance just because it broke the nomination record, and that'll have people talking. But and maybe that would mean that voters were liking it more than we expected. But still, I think it's one battle after another has won everything in its path on the way to the Oscars, and probably will continue to do so in the next month. So unless there's a big Sinners upset at one of the award shows coming up, I think it's going to be the BAFTAs or the what's the one that's right before it? The is it the actor awards it's called now? I think it's that one. But anyway, unless there's a big upset at one of those, it's going to be one battle for another winning Best Picture. But we'll see. I obviously Sinners was my favorite movie from last year, so I'd love to see that up there. But and one battle for another was my third favorite, so either one is great. But yeah, that's Best Picture. This list has Best Director listed next. I don't really know why I wouldn't do acting first, but Best Director we have Chloe Zhao for Hamnet, Josh Safdie for Marty Supreme, Paul Thomas Anderson for One Battle After Another, Joachim Trier for Sentimental Value, and Ryan Coogler for Sinners. Great list. Everyone on here is totally deserved. All these movies are my top 10 of last year. Just cool to see Coogler on there. Long deserved, finally getting an Oscar nomination. Chloe Zhao coming back around for Hamnet. Love that for her after, kind of the bump in her career with the Eternals reception. Josh Safdie, Marty Supreme, incredible direction there. Paul Thomas Anderson, who is also the favorite to win this one because he's been nominated, I think like 11 or 12 times for this award, and he's never won it. So I have a feeling that's where it's going to go here. And then Joachim Trier, Sentimental Value. I mean, again, I wrote a review for that. All these movies, oh no, not Hamnet, but every other movie, I have a review on the site. And Sentimental Value was my second favorite movie of last year. So, yeah, totally deserved for him too. Very, very, very cozy camera work and camera framing from him. And you'll know what I'm talking about if you watch the film. So yeah, no problems here. I don't think anyone else was really had a chance for this. You could have had Yorgos for Begonia. I think what's the God? It's escaping me. The director for No Other Choice is just completely. Oh God, I just have to look this up because it's like totally deserved to get credit for it because I love this direction. Park Chan Wook, he was another chance, but No Other Choice not getting in Best Picture. There's no way he was going to get in Director. Um, Guillermo del Toro was a chance that we could see, but I just don't think it had the same amount of juice as these guys. And yeah, I guess those were really the only people I think had a chance at this. So that's Best Director. PTA I think is the favorite, but it would be cool to see a Coogler or a Trier win, or Chloe Zhao, anyone. I mean, literally, I'll be happy with anyone winning that category. I think all those are great directors, incredibly talented, made amazing films this year. So, yeah, would be happy with any of them winning. So yeah, getting into the acting, obviously we're gonna start. Well, not obviously, but we'll start with. Excuse me. We'll start with Best Actor. No surprise here either. We had Timothy Chalamet for Marty Supreme, Leonardo DiCaprio for One Bell After Another, Ethan Hawke for Blue Moon, Michael B. Jordan for Sinners, and Wagner Moura for The Secret Agent. I've seen all these movies except for Secret Agent because again, it hasn't had a wide release where I'm from, so I haven't had a chance to see it. But Again, really, there were no surprises here. The only one that felt like it could go a different way was Ethan Hawke for Blue Moon, because Timmy, Leo, Michael B. Jordan, and Wagner Moore have all either gotten wins or nominations at every award show coming up to this, so they all felt like complete lock. And Wagner Moore just won a Golden Globe, so like I mean, he was definitely in there, even though it didn't feel like that before the year. But Ethan Hawke was the only other one where we weren't sure about it. Dwayne Johnson had a shot. I think Lee Bing Hung for No Other Choice, I think, had a shot. Uh, who else? Jeremy Allen White was in there early on. Clooney for Jay Kelly. Like the options weren't really slam dunk. I don't even think Ethan Hawke is a slam dunk one. Although I thought I when I made that performances video a few months ago, I hadn't seen Blue Moon yet, but I think his performance is pretty good. I don't think it would have made that video, but still good performance. I like Ethan Hawke, and I'm happy to see him in there, but wasn't slam dunk for me. I mean, I preferred Jeremy Allen White's more than Ethan Hawke's, but that's just that movie just critics didn't like as much as I did. But yeah, no surprises here really. Chalamet is the heavy favorite. He's won at basically every award show where it hasn't been. Well, he's the only one in here that's basically won besides from Wagner Morgan, the Golden Globe, and I think DiCaprio's gotten, and that was only because the two categories were split. And then I think DiCaprio's gotten some on the smaller circuit because it's DiCaprio, but I think he's the only challenger. I think, it could be a similar scenario to last year where Chalamet won the right before it was the award show. I think it was a week or two before the Oscars, and people thought maybe he could take the award from Adrian Brody, who was the huge favorite. But in the end, Brody still won. I could see that happening again here with either Wagner Moura or Michael B. Jordan or Leo, and probably most likely Leo. But yeah, Timmy's the huge favorite and all deserved. Obviously, incredible performance from him and Leo and Michael B. Jordan. I've heard The Secret Agent is great. I've heard Wagner Moore's performance is great. I hope I can watch that before the Oscars comes out or for the Oscars airs. But yeah, so no surprises here and five great performances and happy for all these guys. Best actress, we have Jessie Buckley for Hamnet, Rose Byrne for If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You, Kate Hudson for Song Sung Blue, Renata Reinsve for Sentimental Value, and Emma Stone for Begonia. So yeah, I guess the only really surprise here was with Kate Hudson. There was a lot of momentum on that front in the last couple weeks to the point where like the odds were shifting to what it felt like it was less likely that fifth spot would go to a Chase Infinity or who was the other contender for it? It's been such a long award season. I've just come like completely blanking, but that was the main one. Was Chase Infinity? Was like the early, not favorite to win, but early favorite to be one of the nominees, and she ended up missing out for Kate Hudson. This was the one out of all the nominations that I kind of took issue with. I again did not review Song Sung Blue because I literally saw it on Christmas and I just was not in the ready to write a review. But that was, I think her performance was good in that movie, like really good too. I don't know where it would land on my performances list or if it even would, but I did like her performance and I thought the movie was good and very sweet. But like and I wasn't as blown away with Chase Infinity as everyone else was. I think she was great, and I think you have to value her performance on a certain scale because she is 20 years old. So I think you have to respect the fact that she had like a very solid performance. Whether it's not a perfect performance, whether it's a very solid performance, that gets elevated by the fact that she is, acting at her age in a cast full of, incredibly prominent actors, Leo, Sean Penn, Benicio del Toro, like they shared scenes. So all of these guys, like all of these, Tiana Taylor, like all these people, Regina Hall, like incredible actors, and she's acting alongside them and fitting in and doesn't feel out of place. So I think in that sense, you have to elevate the performance a little bit to the point where like I would have understood and completely been on board with her getting into these five nominees. But yeah, so that's the one that I take issue with. I would have preferred to see her in here. And it's also one of those things where it's like Kate Hudson's like had a long career and has had Oscar love before, and like Chase Infinity, like it's a cooler story. It's seeing her in the five would be a lot cooler story, and neither of them were gonna win, but it would have been cool. So that's like the one thing that I can think off the top of my head that I kind of took issue with in this whole list of awards. But everyone else, I'm like completely sold on. Jessie Buckley, again, didn't write a review for Hamden. I definitely should have because I love the movie. But Jessie Buckley is a heavy favorite, and for good reason. That final scene, incredible performance, incredible from her. Renata and Rose Byrne, I like even more than that performance too. I think Renata is incredible. Her character is literally, I think it's mostly because her character is a little more personal to me. Um, and the way she was able to portray that, it kind of felt like looking in a mirror over the past couple years. But so that I think that's why I appreciate that more. And then Rose Byrne, I'm blessed to be one of the people, one of the first people. I was blessed to be one of the first people in the world to see this performance. I got to do the early screening with A24, and I'm glad that she's getting this love because she's a great actor and has never really gotten awards love to this point. So totally deserved, and love her being in there. And then Emma Stone is just the goat. I mean, literally I mean, I don't care what anyone says, is the undisputed greatest of her generation. Like 1,000,000%. I know there's a lot of great actresses out there like Jennifer Lawrence and people like that, but Emma Stone is at this point, I mean, she broke the record for most nominations at a person under her age. I think it was under, I don't know, 35, 40, something like that. And she's won twice. She's now nominated again. She is the GOAT, the undisputed GOAT. I'm sorry, I don't care what anyone says. It's not bias. She is the greatest actor of that generation and one of the best working actors, if not the best working actor today, and totally deserved. Love Begonia. Love her performance in that. So, yeah, no surprise there. And like I said, the only other really like shock was that Kate Hudson got in, but maybe it was a legacy thing. I don't know. So that's Best Actress. Jessie Buckley is 1,000,000% going to win. Best Supporting Actor, basically exactly as we expected, besides from one surprise. We have Benicio del Toro for One Bell After Another, Jacob Elordi for Frankenstein, Delroy Lindo for Sinners, Sean Penn for One Bell After Another, and Stellan Skarsgård for Sentimental Value. Yeah, so the other four, not Delroy Lindo, were completely expected. They've all won awards on the path to the Oscars, and it's really, this award is completely up in the air because like Stellan's won at certain places, Sean Penn's won at certain places, Benicio's got a lot of wins more than expected. Jacob Elordi won at the where did Jacob Elordi win? That was a couple weeks ago, or maybe like a month ago. It's hard to keep track of all the award shows, but Jacob Elordi won not too long ago, so he has a good a chance as everyone else. So this one's completely up in the air. And then it was really surprising to see Delroy Lindo in there for Sinners, and I just think that's awesome. I love Sinners. I love his performance in it. It wasn't one that was one of my favorite performances of the year, probably because it wasn't a ton of screen time. And it's kind of the Tiana Taylor thing as well for me, and the Amy Madigan thing as well. So I think that's where it was for this, but it's just awesome to see him in there and just so deserved for such an incredible actor, has had so many iconic roles over the years and hopefully will continue to be in the next 10 to 20 years. So yeah, I was just, when I saw that, I was just happy for him, happy for Sinners, and yeah, totally deserved, and just amazing to see him alongside these people. I don't think he has a chance to win, but this was like the one big surprise for me from, besides maybe Kate Hudson would be similar to this, but for me, this was one of the biggest surprises from Thursday morning is seeing Delroy Lindo get in there. And it was a pleasant surprise because I was super happy for him and super happy for the whole Sanders team. Totally deserved. And yeah, so I guess Paul Mescal was the one that he kind of booted out. He was the one who was getting kind of nominated, or Adam Sandler was another one. It was kind of those two that were getting nominated in the build up to these nominations. Both great performances, I think, both Mescal and Adam Sandler, but just it's a really competitive year. Like I said, those four, and even Lindo can I guess be included in this too, but those four have been winning so much and put so many good performances. I mean, like in any given year, any four of these guys could have won, but it's going to be one of them. And for me, I would probably go with Stellan Skarsgård, but Elordi is one that's grown on me a lot. I think Del Toro's is so good. That was in my top 10 performances video. I don't know if it still would be, but it was. I wasn't as sold as Sean Penn on the Sean Penn performance, to be honest. I think he was good, but not Oscar worthy, but he's in there as well. And then Delroy Lindo is obviously just incredible movie, incredible performance. So yeah, very happy about this five, and sad for Paul Mescal and Adam Sandler, but they'll get other chances there. I mean, I don't know about Sandler, but Paul Mescal will get other chances. Incredibly talented actor. He'll be there again. So yeah, the last acting category and the last one I'll probably be going in depth with is Best Supporting Actress, and another one where I was very happy with this category. Elle Fanning for Sentimental Value, Inga is Ibsbader Lilius. I probably am butchering that from Sentimental Value. Sorry. Amy Madigan for Weapons, Wumi Masaku for Sinners, and Tiana Taylor for One Ballot for Another. Uh, Incredibly stacked category. I really was a fan of all these performances, and especially Elle, Inga, and Wumi. And which is funny because those are the ones that are not going to win. But yeah, really took no issue with anything here. Obviously, the big surprise, at least for me, was Ariana Grande not making it. As I said, I'm higher on Wicked for Good than a lot of other people are, so I would have been fine with seeing her in there. But that movie just lost all the momentum by the time Thursday morning came around, so not surprised really. But yeah, love all these performances. And like I said, I think so. So this award is going to be between Amy Madigan and Tiana Taylor. They've been basically splitting all the awards heading in the Oscars, so it'll be really interesting to see which way they go. But for me, I liked both those performances, and I'm happy for both of them because I do like them as actors. But I just don't. Neither one of them was one where I was like, this is going to be an award-winning performance. I think for Tiana, in Tiana's case, it was a lot of the fact that she was just not in the movie after the first 30, 40 minutes. And I think that's why it's supporting, obviously. But at the same time, it just felt like, and that was like the tiny problem I had with the movie, too. But I just think that a performance like that, I just don't see how it can be weighed against something like Elle Fanning or Woomi or Inga. Like, that frustrates me that that is being valued above, people that were in. I don't know how the screen time work out. Maybe I'm totally wrong about this, and obviously you have to factor in how long a certain movie was. But yeah, that was somewhat frustrating for me, or that is has been somewhat frustrating me throughout this award season. Although again, I'm like repping them, like I'm retweeting about Tiana and Amy Madigan winning because I'm super happy. So literally, anyone could win in this category, and I'd be happy. I like all the performances. Again, Elle Fanning and Inga, just everyone in Sentimental Value totally deserved. They all made the acting awards because that's the one thing you have to say about that movie is the acting is incredible. And then Woomi getting in, I did not think Woomi was going to get in. It was always a really highly valued performance for me. If you remember my top 10 awards or top 10 performances video that I did back, probably that was like November. She was in the top 10. I think she might have been even in like top five or top seven or something like that. And I thought that I was way higher on it than anyone else was, but I guess the critics finally came around and put her in there and totally deserved. Loved her performance so much. She's such a talented actor. And yeah, like I said, this category, completely happy with all of it, and I think that it should be interesting to see who wins between Madigan and Tiana Taylor. And again, might come down to the shows in the next month, so we'll have to see who wins the BAFTA and see who wins the actor awards. Yeah, so just to say, the rest of this list is going. I don't know how long I've gone so far, but the rest of this list is going to be like ones where it's going to be. I'll say who's in it, and I'll say what I think about those screenplays or those cinematography, but and who the favorite is. But I'm not going to talk as long on them because it's a little like I'm not going to get into the intricacies of a screenplay or the intricacies of the way a film is shot. It's just a little bit harder to talk about. But yeah. So first off is screenplay. For best original screenplay was Blue Moon. It was just an accident. Marty Supreme, Sentimental Value, and Sinners. I think Sinners is a lock to win this. Ryan Coogler, obviously, but all the screenplays in this are really good. I mean, even Blue Moon, a movie that I wasn't as high. I give it 3.5, I think, but I wasn't as high on. But obviously, making it engaging for an hour and 40 minutes in the same location, basically, that's incredibly impressive. And I liked all the dialogue in that. Yeah, so everything in here, great. I think Sinners is the big favorite for that. Best adapted screenplay, we have Begonia, Frankenstein, Hamnet, One Bell After Another, and Train Dreams. I like all these screenplays a lot except for Train Dreams. But I think One Bell After Another is going to win this one. Huge favorite, Paul Thomas Anderson, and well deserved. Although, I mean, if I were to pick out of this, I'd probably pick Begonia just because of how intense it was, even with it being, again, in the same location. But not mad about One Bell After Another being up there. Best international feature film, we have It Was Just an Accident for France, The Secret Agent for Brazil, Sentimental Value for Norway, Surat for Spain, and The Voice of Hin Rajab for Tunisia. I have seen only it was just an accident and sentimental value. I'm going to try to watch everything else by the time the Oscars comes around, like I said. But for me, I would go sentimental value, and or I would not be mad if it was just an accident one too, but because it's great. This one will probably be sentimental value or The Secret Agent. I think sentimental value seemed to be the big favorite early on, but I think more recently Secret Agent, the momentum has been a lot bigger, and now that it's gotten in Best Picture, it should be interesting to see. I feel like they've been campaigning Sentimental Value more than Secret Agents. That probably is where it's going to go, but it's not a complete lock. It's we'll see how it goes there. I think those two are the ones that have the chance, though. I mean, if it was just an accident didn't get in Best Picture and these two did, then they have to be the favorites. That's Best International Feature Film. Best Animated Feature, we have Arco, Elio, K-pop Demon Hunters, Little Amelie, or The Character of Rain, and Zootopia 2. So I've seen Elio, K-pop Demon Hunters, and Zootopia 2. I don't know if the other two have a wide release yet. Again, we'll try to watch them before the Oscars, but K-pop Demon Hunters is a lock to win this. It has swept every single award show to this point, which I'm not mad about because I think that, well, first off, I think the movie. I'm happy that the movie has done as well as it has because I think it's had a great impact on kids. I think it's been great for representation. I think the music is a 5 star. The music is amazing. I think it's super catchy. I have a ton of the songs in my playlist, and so that part of it I love. But I did think the movie itself is not as good as people are saying. I think it was a little bit underwhelming. I think it was rushed. I think the character arcs and the way they played them out were a little weird, but it's hard not to like the movie, because of and I think the animation too. That animation is also like a 5 star. The animation was great. Another movie that I would have loved to see in theaters, but Netflix. But yeah, so this is gonna win. But if I were to pick, I would pick Zootopia 2 because I love Zootopia 2. I did again another one that I didn't do a review for, but I literally cried watching Zootopia 2. I thought it was amazing. And then Elio, I liked Elio, but it wasn't really Oscar worthy for me. But I'm not mad at it being in there, and good for Elio because it didn't do well at the box office. So good for that cast and crew. They got to get honored like this, really good. But Demon Hunters is gonna win. All right, so best original song. I guess it's good to come after the Demon Hunters category. We have Dear Me from Diane Warren Relentless. No idea. Golden from K-pop Demon Hunters. I Lied to You from Sinners. Sweet Dreams of Joy from Viva Verdi. And then Train Dreams from Train Dreams. I don't remember that Train Dreams song watching the movie. Interesting. This one's between Golden and I Lied to You, and it's almost a lock that Golden is going to win because again, Golden has been winning all the awards up to this point. Maybe I Lied to You gets the Oscar because it's more of just like I don't know. I thought maybe I Lied to You. This would be the one they would win at. Maybe it'll win one of these awards. I don't know. It's hard to pick between them because, like I said, Golden is just incredibly catchy and it's like a great moment in the movie, but I Lied to You. That scene is like literally my favorite scene of the year. So it's like it's just that they do different things. Like Golden just does different things than I Lied to You is like this just incredible, massive exploration of culture and music, and it's incredible filmmaking and all that stuff. And I'm not saying Golden doesn't do some of those things too, but yeah, I would pick I Lied to You, but I won't be mad with Golden winning because it's incredibly catchy and I like the song. It's good. And as for everything else in this, I don't want to like discredit people in this movie in this video, but just like I just don't even know why those are in there. I would have put a Wicked song in there. I would have put another K-pop Demon Hunters, another Sinners song in there. Pale Moon. That could have got in there too, but I digress. Best original score, we have Begonia, Frankenstein, Hamnet, One Battle After Another, and Sinners. I guess the only one that I would personally maybe put in here would be Marty Supreme. I've been listening to that score basically on repeat since the movie came out, but all these other ones are great. I mean, the Begonia score was one of my main positives from that movie. Frankenstein, I don't remember the Frankenstein score being anything like outstanding, but maybe I'd have to go back and listen to it a little bit. Hamnet, obviously, great score. But again, not one where I was like, this is one of the better parts of the movie, but still, a great movie, so I'm not mad about it. One Laugh Another, incredible score in an incredible movie, and then Sinners is obviously, that's the favorite. Ludwig Göransson, the greatest right now. I mean, for me, pound for pound, the top composer right now we have in the film industry. And obviously, he's preparing. He won for Oppenheimer. He's preparing to do the Odyssey this year. He's going to win for Sinners. He might win for the Odyssey next year. Just incredibly talented individual, and Black Panther as well. All that, just incredible, incredible composers. I think he's the favorite in this category. Best casting, which is a new category, so it's interesting to see where it went here. Hamnet, Marty Supreme, One Bow After Another, The Secret Agent, and Sinners. It is kind of interesting that sentimental value, all four of the actors, or they had representation in all four of the categories and two in the best supporting actress, but did not get in the best casting. That doesn't really make sense to me, especially with The Secret Agent being on there, which is another international film. But again, I can't speak really much to The Secret Agent because I have not seen it. I'm just saying that's weird that Sentimental Value didn't get in here, but everything else completely checks out. I mean, Hamnet, Buckley and Mescal, and even Jacoby Jupe, just incredible. Marty Supreme, Timmy, Tyler the Creator, Odessa, Fran Drescher, the guy from the Knicks video. Like that was just an incredible ensemble cast. Full of people that I haven't seen acting a lot. Kevin O'Leary, like full of people like Kevin O'Leary and Tyler the Creator, like people I never would have thought been able to act, and they were great in the movies. That's obviously a testament to the casting director. One Bear Off Another is similar to Sentimental Value, where they got a lot of the awards, the acting awards nominations, and potentially wins. So totally deserves to be in there. Secret Agent, again, I haven't seen it, but I know Wagner Moore obviously must have put in a good performance for all the love he's getting. And then Sinners probably is also the favorite for this, and deservedly so. You know, Michael B, Woomy, Haley, Miles Caton, first movie ever, and look how good he was. Jamie Lawson, Delroy Lindo, Jack O'Connell. I could keep going for age. Or Omar Benson Miller, like just incredible cast, incredible ensemble. So that's probably going to win that or One Battle for Another, I would assume. Yeah, so getting the last few here. Best cinematography, we have Frankenstein, Marty Supreme, One Battle After Another, Sinners, and Train Dreams. I think Sinners is the favorite for this one as well. And again, deservedly so. Train Dreams, again, I can't get there with this movie. I'm glad people can, but it's kind of baffling to me that that could be in best cinematography, but it won. I think it was at the Globes, so it's definitely got a chance. But I would love to see Sinners win here. Just one of the best parts of the movie, I think, was the way that it was shot, and the way it looked. But everything else near Frankenstein, Murray Supreme, One After Another, great. Loved it. And then best visual effects, we have Avatar: Fire and Ash, we have F1, Jurassic World: Rebirth, The Lost Bus, and Sinners. Avatar is obviously a lock for this one, as it always is, even if the movie wasn't as well received. I mean, interesting category. Sinners, that wasn't, when I watched the movie, as good as I thought it was and how long I talked about it. I don't think I ever once talked about the visual effects. Maybe I did and I don't remember, but it was good. It's interesting that it got nominated for this. The Lost Bus, like I know that's the Matthew McConaughey Apple TV movie. I don't think a lot of people really saw that. I didn't see it. I heard it wasn't that good. So that's definitely an interesting one. Jurassic World Rebirth, I liked that movie more than a lot of people, and I enjoyed it. And I thought it had a lot of good elements to it, but I don't think it was great visually. So again, that's another interesting one. F1 totally deserved. Love F1 in there, and obviously Avatar for me is the best. But uh, could we really not have given like a Superman or a Fantastic Four in there? Like I don't think Superman's visual effects were amazing, but I think they were better than Jurassic World. And the fact that Fantastic Four didn't even make the short list, and Captain America: Brave New World, by the way, did, is just, I know I'm biased, but like that's just preposterous to me. But whatever, you know. I mean, what do I know? Yeah. So I think this list is missing one because I didn't say production design. That's an Oscar, right? Anyway, best, the last award on this list at least, and I'm not going. I haven't gone through like the shorts and documentaries because I just know nothing about them. Like I haven't seen any of them. I don't know anything about them, so I'm not gonna go into it. But best makeup and hairstyling, we have Frankenstein, Coke Uhu. I'm not sure if I butchered that or not. Sinners, The Smashing Machine, and The Ugly Stepsister. Obviously, I've only seen three of the movies on this list. I'm not really sure what the favorite in this category is. Smashing Machine getting a nomination is cool, but I guess probably Frankenstein because of Elordi and him being the creature, but I'm not really sure what the favorite is here. Yeah, am I like, is there not a production design? Oscars production design. There is a Yeah. Huh. This list is just missing it. That's weird. Okay, well, production design is Marty Supreme, Frankenstein, One Law After Another, Sinners, and Hamnet. So another one where it's the same movies I've been talking about the whole time. Any given one of those, it would be totally deserved. So I don't think that there is. I don't think there's a bad, but would be a bad winner in that list. I don't really know what the favorite is either. I'm trying to remember what has won at this point. I guess maybe Sinners, or maybe Frankenstein. I'm not sure. I feel like Frankenstein's going to win a lot of the technical categories, so that wouldn't surprise me. Let me try to find a new. Maybe I should just cut this out. I'm not going to try to find a new list of nominations because, again, I'm worried it's missing some now. Let's see. This is just Google, so animated, I talked about that. Screenplay, score, adapted, cinematography, documentary, short, visual effects, costume. Oh, did I talk about costume design? No, I didn't have that one either. Huh. Or editing. This is so weird. Okay. I'm just gonna speed run through these. Costume design is Marty Supreme, Frankenstein, Hamnet, Avatar, and Sinners. I think Ruthie Carter for Sinners will probably be the shoe-in favorite to that. Well deserved. Best editing, Marty Supreme, Sinners, Sentimental Value, F1, and One Battle After Another. Could be any of them. I think maybe it'll go to One Battle After Another just because it is the potential Best Picture winner, but not sure. Cool to see F1 in there as well. Best production design is Marty Supreme, Frankenstein, One Battle After Another, Hamnet. Am I like completely I didn't say that, right? No, I didn't. Production design is Marty Supreme, Frankenstein, One Battle After Another, Sinners, and Hamnet. Maybe Frankenstein. I'm not totally sure. And best sound. This is the last one that I haven't done yet. Surratt. Oh, interesting. Sinners, One Battle After Another, F1, and Frankenstein. So, and for that one, I think, I mean, it'd be cool to see F1 win, but I don't know if it has the juice enough to win an award. But again, I'm going to go with what I think is going to be the one that the Academy likes the most, which is One After Another. So I'll go with that for the win for that. So yeah, so that is the entire list of nominees. And again, I'm not going to go through it all again because I kind of went through everything I wanted to say about them. But yeah, yeah, I don't know if there's anything else really to say about it, to be honest. I hope Sinners is kind of the big winner of the night because that's my favorite movie of the year. I hope Sentimental Value is a big winner. One Battle After Another, Marty Supreme, Hamnet, Frankenstein, Begonia. Like these are the movies that I had as my favorites of the whole year. So it'd be nice to see all those win. And just cool, like for a movie like Sinners to be nominated as much as it was. It's a horror movie, with a black director and mostly black cast. Just would be cool to see that. But yeah, not much else to say about that. I'm excited to watch the Oscars when they come out. I'll be covering that for the site as I always do with all these big award shows, and I'll be tweeting about the other award shows. Again, follow me on Twitter because I'm always talking about the awards winners and nominations, and will continue to do so until Oscars night. And yeah, so that's that with the Oscars, and I'm excited to see who gets the win, and if some of my favorites. And this year, compared to other years, like there's been other years where there's been movies that are in the Best Picture or the acting categories where I'm just like I just didn't like I don't like these movies. I don't see why they're there, and the only one for me this year is Train Dreams, and even then, like I don't hate that movie. I think it's mediocre, but I don't hate it. I wouldn't see. I mean, it's not going to win anything, but like if it won, I wouldn't be like, oh God. Like I just don't like it that much. But compared to most years, I've had that where it's like there's so many films in the Best Picture 10 where it's like I just don't like these films, but there's not one like this. There's not one like that this year, and the closest would be Train Dreams, and even then, I don't feel that way about that. So yeah, should be a fun Oscars, and I should be happy with most of the results. And again, I'll cover for the site when that happens, and maybe another video in the geez, I can't speak right now. Another video maybe in the build up to the Oscars as well. So yeah, I don't know. Is there anything else? That's pretty much it. Thanks for watching. Leave your thoughts below in the comments or at me on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, whatever. Go support all those platforms. And I'm keeping the same schedule right now of a video every Friday or Saturday and an article like Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday, one a week. 6 clips, some excerpts from the blog posts that I write. So all of that, keeping up with that content right now, hoping for some cool opportunities, with press stuff soon. I'm working at that. It's gonna come or it's not. Nothing I can do about it. But yeah, hopefully some cool stuff coming up next month and the month after that. But yeah, so that's pretty much it. Yeah. thanks so much for watching, and I will see you on here next week and early next week with an article, probably a review of something. I'm not really sure yet. But yeah, thanks for watching, and I will see you then.